for the day. Do I have a motion to approve it?
I'd motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Okay, approval of the minutes of the July 2025 meeting.
I'd a motion to approve the minutes from the July 25 meeting as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Treasurer's report.
So we started out the month, July 1st at 237,360. We got payments in, basically 49,629. Basically some county payments, mainly not much in taxes, but South Dakota beverage fund, and then there was some motor vehicle and stuff in this 42 and stuff like that. So, and there, the big bill was for the dust control for this year, 162,425, and then the rest were pretty minor because the rest of it is 175,177 in bills. Equipment and vehicle maintenance is 6,000, which is the next bigger one. Payroll 4,374. And there, so our receipts greater than expenditures was 125,548. So our bank account went down to 111,813 in there. And so unless there's any questions and stuff in there, it's pretty straightforward that we don't usually get much in taxes this year or this month, but this is when they catch up on the alcohol reversion and motor vehicle and all that type of stuff that coming in. But if you look, we're budget-wise, we're looking pretty good and stuff in there for what we had budgeted and everything. So
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read?
I would make a motion to accept the report as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Old business. We'll jump right into Kim's Circle update.
So, the deans had asked to replace an existing culvert, and we've had some ongoing concerns by residents relative to water drainage issues there. At the last meeting, the supervisors decided to have DGR go out and just take a look and see if there's money in the development, what could or should be done in the area. And so we have DGR here, and we will just maybe turn it over to them. Else what you think? Oh, over there, sorry, yeah, sorry, you guys have plans, I wasn't really looking, and, yeah, so.
Trent Bruce, DGR Engineering. Yeah, we took a look at it, met with the residents, and there's certainly some challenges with the area. The culvert is in need of some repair. The ditches are challenging there, but there's some obviously some additional concerns that should be taken a look at. I passed along an email to the supervisors that provided some thoughts from my perspective and how you might want to handle that. But I think that if it's done properly, it could add benefit to the drainage challenges that are there, and should be looked at a little bit more in depth. I'm not prepared to tell you exactly what that would look like or anything of that nature, but certainly worthy of additional discussion and consideration. So
You guys do have a plan on that. You got a plan from a contractor?
No, he wanted to wait to see, because he wanted to talk to you guys, and then I was like, why? Can't I just dig it out?
Well, it depends on what you're gonna put in and stuff. We're just trying to see what the plan is and compare it with DGR and see if it's all gonna fit, you know?
Right.
So,
Well, the one culvert that goes over the circle part is almost completely covered with dirt. And y'all had said last year that you were gonna come and clean it out, but nobody ever came. it'd be beneficial to clean out both culverts that go under the road.
That's the one downstream from you guys where the road, where King Circle turns to the north. It is in need of a little bit of maintenance out there, so I would agree with that.
So can that be done and get the existing culvert replaced?
Their existing culvert replaced?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
one on the circle.
for the
Yeah,
circle.
The one on the circle probably needs, I mean, it looked like it was in adequate condition, it just needs a little bit of maintenance there.
Cleaned out.
Cleaned out, yep. You know, theirs is short, and it's because of some of the erosion and stuff, it probably would benefit the drainage in that area to move it over a little bit, relocate that. And that's what you kind
Yeah.
of said what your plan was, and I think that there would be some benefit to the entire drainage system in doing so, you're not gonna see a lot of benefit from just doing the work that they wanna do. It needs a little bit of maintenance in the culverts that cross Kim Circle there too, so, how you guys wanna handle that or what that would look like. I can get with them and circle back and come back and give you guys a recommendation on what might work best, and if that sounds right.
Well, yeah, and in the meantime, can't we get our people out there to go clean up the culverts? Is there any reason that has to be delayed?
No.
If maybe we have some of our workers have some time to do that? They could contact you and find out what you're recommending.
Yeah, I'll meet them out there and just say, hey, this is what I think ought to happen there.
Okay, Trent.
To
We'll
do that, and then have you guys connect on what you wanna do, and then if there's anything else, Trent, that you think should be done with the development fund to make the drainage better, let us know, maybe. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I am. You guys do, right?
I'll meet with them, bring something back to you as to what looks right.
Okay.
That works.
All right.
And Trent, you're welcome to leave. Do you have something else
I
on
don't
here?
think so, so.
So, I mean, it
Alright.
might be a longer meeting, so don't
You'll-
worry.
you'll draw-
Yeah.
You get a pass.
You'll draw up a plan too?
Yeah.
Yes, you can, that's safe from that.
I think we're actually ahead on that agenda.
Okay, moving on then. 2024 FEMA.
So we actually, what was good news is that I got the debris closed out and approved. So we're gonna be getting that money, and then so now we're down just to the managerial cost. They wouldn't let me put the managerial cost in there, but it is approved, signed, and delivered to FEMA for that 2024 debris project, so we should be getting, I didn't figure it out exactly, but probably like 30,000 more than that, and then so we're down to, they'll pay us back for the managerial cost, but that number isn't finalized because even this meeting, I put in for some managerial costs for us talking about it, so hopefully we'll get it closed up here by next month.
Somebody got any questions? Okay. So now we'll move to 4th on the agenda, 267th Street.
Well, it's just the bridge and stuff in there that we got, the county has got everything now and stuff in there, and then we're just waiting for the guy to start, and he said last time I heard he's gonna start in September,
That's what I heard.
so there'll be some closures there on 267 here coming up, but I haven't heard when he's coming yet. But all the paperwork is into the county now.
And you'll tell Virgil, and we'll put it on the website,
Yeah, if we get,
closures.
he originally said that middle of September, so that's coming up. So that's why I put it on the agenda here to start announcing, and it'll start being getting ready to get closed.
Now the 4th on there would be the 267th Street DOT.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm here for you. bring up here next for the group. Let's go. I'm Travis Dressen. I'm the Mitchell Region Engineer for South Dakota Department of Transportation. This is Harry Johnson. He's out of our Sioux Falls area office, also with the DOT. I understand going back to your July minutes, you discussed the 267th Street connection off of Highway 42. So based on your minutes, and we took some of that information back to our team. Originally, that layout was provided by our project designer. Since then, we've gone back and kind of looked at some options as far as the closure of 267th where it connects to Highway 42. And reestablishing 267th on that half-mile line, which you can see in the red and yellow arrows or lines on the map anyway. And I think some of the initial concerns were the additional roadway miles onto the Split Rock Township network. So we met as a team and kind of discussed some options to help mitigate some of those concerns. And one of the ideas that we had developed was looking at that section that's highlighted in that purple box, kind of off to the lower right of the picture. Currently, there's a landowner on the north side, a landowner on the south side. And before we really get into our right-of-way office talking with these folks, we wanted to first meet with the township and see if this would be something that would be acceptable to the township, but propose potentially vacating that section of 267th, turning that into a private road that would be used by the landowner to the north and to the south. That's about 950 feet of road vacation. And the new connection of 267th up to Highway 42 at that half-mile line would then be about 980 feet. So taking about 950 off, putting about 980 feet back on as a township road. Now I see in some of the past, in the minutes from July, there were questions about would that be designed to township standards? Yes, it would, but we'd like to know what the township standards are for a new roadway as far as width, gravel surfacing, depth. But what we're proposing is with that project, we ran our drainage calculations, 614 acres of drainage area, which require twin 54-inch pipe underneath that road in one location, and then twin 54 inches just to the south of that in that other drainage crossing location. And where the road's shown right now is just kind of a general depiction of where that would be located. Some of that needs to still be vetted out with negotiations with landowners along the project. So I guess with that, are there any questions from Township Board?
When you vacate the road, we don't do nothing with it then, but
That's,
that stretch in there does get drifted in bad.
yeah, and that's certainly a conversation we need to have with those adjoining landowners.
Yeah,
So if a road is vacated, and that's not within our jurisdiction to do that, that falls under the
Right.
county. So it's something that we can help facilitate, but not something that we can act upon ourselves.
yeah.
But first, of course, we need support from you folks as well as the landowners along there to accept that proposal.
Just so for the public knowledge, is there concern about safety in terms of continuing a connection 267 to 42?
There is
This
one of
would be a
the,
safer alternative.
yeah, absolutely. A couple things with that. You know, the lay of the land and the way 42 kind of snakes its way through this corridor, there's several intersections with severe skews with the local roads. We know those have a higher crash rate at those locations. Also, by moving this over to the half-mile line, this will be a 4-lane divided section with a raised median. Moving that to the half-mile section allows for full movements at that intersection as well.
Is this the same location for the road as we had the last meeting, or did they move it to the west a little?
So what you're looking at on here, it may be shifted a little bit
Yeah,
one
okay.
direction or the other. So it's really kind of just lines on paper at this point. It's not really surveyed in. But again, more trying to explain the concept. And then I think if that's agreeable, then we start getting into the details, start talking with the landowners and kind of working through that right-of-way process, which has already started.
And just so people remember what our minutes talk about last time is, the supervisors said they would be willing to maintain the new road, so this 980 feet of gravel between 267th and 42 on the new area on the map, if it was built up to specs. Maintain and like do any significant later repairs though, is the state willing to, if there is some significant issue, have an agreement that the state at its cost would do those significant, it's one thing to just add some gravel and dust control, it's another thing to have to.
So we would propose not doing that. We prefer not to do that. It's not on the state trunk system, right? So it's not a state highway, not eligible for federal funds. The other thing too, and part of that vacation process is trying to offset those, I guess, the township's costs. So instead of the 950 feet, it's now the 980 feet. I do know in some of those situations where you talk about, damage, it's a very discretionary type term on what damage actually is. I know as far as the drainage analysis goes, we've designed that or proposing drainage that matches what our standards are for local roads, and designing for a 10-year event. So we would not be interested in long-term maintenance. Hopefully that would be seen as part of the offset of the private road, not maintaining that any longer for the township.
And because I'm a lawyer, there's a difference between not interested in and absolutely we won't. So do you,
Okay, well, I'll say we absolutely not.
okay?
No,
You left some negotiation in there for a moment, so I wanted.
And I think there's some things too to talk about as far as, some details to work out as far as what that would look like where the public road ends and the private road starts. Would that be gated? Would that be, how would it be signed? Would there be a turnaround there? There is a cell phone tower just outside of that box, so that pretty much, if you're standing out there, that's what would delineate where the private road and the public road boundary is.
Cause the last one, they said there was at the end, there was gonna be a turnaround type of deal.
Yeah.
And that's, you're still proposing on that.
Yeah, and the turnaround is really just kind of a termination point. I think, if this proposal were to happen, we'd obviously want to make sure that there is a connection to that landowner to the south, and across that stream, same with the landowner to the north. So you want to make sure that connection is there. If that's a private road, I think we'd want to do everything we can to discourage any public from driving down that private road. Maybe a more logical spot for the turnaround would be at the cell phone location to keep people from even getting that far to start with. And again, potentially a gate, something of that nature.
Have you visited with the school system on this type of a turnaround?
I mean, just as far as like the buses being able to
Yeah,
drive everywhere.
bus routes.
So typically we run different models through our system when we're designing, whether it's truck turning movements or vehicle turning movements. So the hammerhead design or whatever it would be for that cul-de-sac at the end of that roadway would accommodate that type of traffic that's used on that roadway. So if there's buses, we would make sure that we would accommodate those turning movements based on the size, length, that wheel configuration, things like that. So
Did they get into the discussion from the beginning or just?
a lot of times it's nice to have a direction before we're kind of getting into some of the nitty gritty stuff. That way we can kind of incorporate that as we're fine tuning our design.
If it's feasible for one of us to attend a meeting with the landowner, would that be possible? Along with you?
Yeah, we could certainly
Yeah.
talk about that. I
If
think
it's
is,
feasible.
yeah, and I think we want to make sure that the landowner's agreeable with that too.
Okay.
And obviously there's negotiations that are taking place that we don't want
Yep.
to interfere
No,
with.
no, at the right time.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep,
Okay.
sure, absolutely.
Any other discussion? We're basically like we said last time,
Yeah,
everything up to specs.
yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to do anything, and I think what you said last time, it's probably not in the minutes, is that you wanted to make sure the residents and the school district had say, approval, or comments to you before you made a final decision. So I don't know that there's
Well,
anything that has to be done today on this.
Well, by having one of us involved in when you talk to them, it would
Yep.
help us out there.
Who would you prefer I reach out to?
Either one of us, is great.
Okay, true. Okay.
Any more discussion?
Good.
Thank you.
You guys are welcome to stay for the next hour and a half if you want.
It's tempting, I'll finish my notes.
RJ?
So can I address these guys or not? Don't you want me at this point in the meeting?
No, you
Can I ask them a
you
question?
can ask them.
Sure. Okay, Travis, so I'm a farmer and some of my other farmer peer group, we're moving a lot of big, wide, slow equipment up and down 267. We're going east into Valley Springs Township. And our concerns are safety. You're gonna force us, if you get rid of part of 267, you're gonna force us out into that new highway with our overwidth, slow equipment. And so from a safety aspect, I don't understand that. And then you're talking about moving that, creating a new road, cost-wise, to the west on the half section line. What about if you have to create a road like that, can't you keep that road much farther east to shorten that up and keep us off that? We don't want to be on that highway to begin with. And the original plan was you were going to allow us to go east on 267. In other words, there was going to be no vacation of 267 going east. So at a minimum, I'd request you keep it open so we can go east. And then my real concerns are when we're coming back west. So that's all I got. I just thought I would run that by you.
Yeah, so originally, the connection of 267 to Highway 42 was never gonna happen. That was always being proposed for removal. The connection going east. on
Right,
267, yeah.
But from the information I've gotten through Kelsey McGregor, you were gonna connect 267 to 484, just to the south of Highway 42, and allow us to at least go east. And from what I'm hearing tonight, you're talking about totally vacating 267. And I'm just saying from a cost standpoint and a safety standpoint, I've got big questions both ways.
So 267th was gonna be connected to 484th, but that's on the north side of 42?
That would be on the south side of Highway 42. You were gonna connect 267 up to 484 was my
The
understanding,
north side,
on the south side.
no, on the north side.
Yeah, you cross the highway then.
I was gonna say, Yeah.
He wants to stay south of the highway,
the original plan was to allow us
42, and then come.
eastbound to connect on the south side of 42 to 484. And
Should run a layout of that.
Anything that can progress farther east of 44.
This is a pretty good drawing. There's 44, so I was talking on the north side of 42.
we were told this was gonna come up and then parallel 42 and put in right here south,
And there
on
were
the
some-
south side of
There
42.
were some discussions.
Yeah. No, that's not it.
And up here.
There were some discussions.
I sent that stuff, I scanned it and sent it to them.
They can put a bike trail for 3 minutes.
This stuff?
Yeah,
So I just need to get this in hand for a
yeah,
file.
yeah.
Okay.
I just, I wanted to kind of.
Okay, so that's, yeah, so you already sent it to them.
Yeah, I scanned it and sent it over.
Okay.
Actually, I
This road
here.
And then you guys, you know.
I guess I'd throw that to you because we have big concerns with what you're doing there with that road.
So I was-
First one, it's on the busy highway.
Just gonna read it. You don't need to go to your office.
Follow up with you.
No.
I'll give it.
I'll give you my card. and then-
All right.
No, you're in a good position.
Okay, now we're moving to the fifth one, Quartzsite.
I don't have, I mean, there aren't any updates, it's still closed, so
Yeah,
I,
Why are we keeping it closed?
why are they keeping it closed?
I thought it was supposed to be a temporary action. How long is the temporary?
so if you look back at the minutes, they said they were going to keep it closed until they decided to open it. So there's no temporary, there wasn't a, let's keep it closed for, there's nothing in the minutes or discussions by the supervisors that we're gonna do for a month or 2 months. They said, we're going to close it and we'll consider it at various meetings. So that's, I don't know where you're hearing the temporary, so I don't have anything in the minutes on that.
Oh, I mean, that's what I was told by one of the board members. Supervisors.
I mean, eventually it'll be open, right?
Sure,
But
and I'm just wondering when that time will be.
Depends on the construction.
Okay, so we're just keeping it closed just because of construction?
And safety.
Okay, can you also explain, so we have it on record, why the people on Quartzsite had to pay in $5,000 each? Because there seems to be a lot of misinformation online about why this is their road. And they feel entitled to the road, that it's a public road.
so it's a township road.
It's
They
public.
paid,
Well, it's
they
a public
wanted it paved. To pave it, the supervisors said that they weren't going to use township funds to pave, to do the blacktop. And that they would, the township would coordinate paving of it if the residents paid a sum of money to get it paved. They got the estimate, said it was gonna cost this much, and sent out a letter saying, if we have a commitment of this much money from the residents, then we will coordinate the paving. And I don't have the dollar amount that each resident paid. It's, we had that back 4 years ago. It's still in the minutes and you could look. But did they pay 2,000 or 8,000? It kind of depended. And so they paid money, as did Hidden Valley, as did Pine Lake Hills, to pave the road so that the township wasn't paving these private developments. So it's a public road, but they all paid money so that it could be paved. So
So
that's,
why is it that they paid the portion towards it? What, isn't it supposed to be like a pool of money that taxes go into, an account?
no, there are taxes that are received by the township that go into the general fund that are not even anywhere close to the amount of money that the township needs to pave a road. Paving a road is hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the township supervisors decide how they want the money that's collected from all the taxes spent, and decided not to use the general funds to pave the development.
Why was that decision made?
I mean, that's the supervisor's discretion. Why was it made? 3 years ago, that's the decision they made. And I think they made it because they determined, and this is best recollection, that it wasn't appropriate to use township funds to pave a road when it could be a gravel road, but the residents wanted it paved, So they said, if you want it paved, you can use money of your own and we will allow you
Or
to pave
public
it.
road, correct?
Yes. So it could have been a gravel road, it could be a paved road if they wanted to pave for that.
So the money that was kind of in that pool of going towards any road, is that from all the taxpayers in the township? Or is it specifically from that neighborhood?
Well, that neighborhood has to pay general taxes. They also pay more money because they get assessed more based on a paved road than a gravel road. So they're paying more money in for just maintenance generally. But everybody in the township pays money that goes towards general township funds as well. And the supervisors are elected to decide how to spend the money.
Well, there's a curious question there too. If they're paying for the asphalt road, why are they being taxed more because it's an asphalt road?
Upkeep.
Because they're paying for it.
So what happens is they get assessed $2 a front foot, they and other people in development, as opposed to, there's a special front footage assessment that goes into the development fund that then when it needs to be crack sealed, hopefully someday when it needs to be paved again, there's enough money in there to pay for the more expensive stuff that comes with a paved road than a gravel road.
If not, we will be assessed, hypothetically.
Well, if it comes a time where that road is in disrepair, the supervisors then will make the decision, if there's not enough money in the development fund, they will decide, A, are we going to use the funds of the general township to, completely destroy it and repave it? Are they going to do another agreement where they say, okay, if you guys want it redone, then again, everybody in that development, pull your money together, give it to the township, and we will do, the bidding work. Or they could decide, okay, well, no, you guys aren't coming back with that much money. We don't feel like we should use general funds. We will turn it into a gravel road again. So those are the things that happen with roads, and that's how the supervisors that you elect, they've got to make decisions about roads that are in disrepair.
So how many developments went through that, did you say?
Oh, so you have Pine Lake Hills, you have Hidden Valley, you have Mystic Meadows,
Iverson
Iverson
Crossing.
Crossing, and Split Rock Township.
All
So-
at the same time?
No,
No,
Oh, okay.
No,
I said, holy
no,
cow.
it started with one little section of people, and then over the course of the last 10, 12 years, that's how these developments have gotten their roads paved.
But that same group of supervisors that work on Split Rock Heights are working on all of those other areas that you're talking about.
Well, they work on any road that's in the township.
They're all part of
Okay.
the township.
They're all part of, okay, that
Yeah,
was my
and
question,
so
I guess.
was it a different group of
Yeah.
supervisors? Absolutely, because
Yeah, I understand.
other than Mark, who's been here forever.
so another thought is that the township money and stuff in there is for the section line roads more. So if you have these developments and if this development wants, dust control, for the dust and stuff in there, then we don't use the other township money to do a development. They pay a front footage for dust control. The same way with asphalt, if they want asphalt, the general fund doesn't pay, does their snow removal and stuff, but doesn't pay for asphalt. Say that, does that make sense?
Yep.
Because the kind of the thought is that we're supposed to be doing your section lines and everybody pays for the section lines. But we don't want to pay for each development.
And then I would tell you that people have come to the meetings and said, but we're paying for extra money for these roads. The supervisors, I have not heard them say that the reason it's closed is because of they paid for that section of the road. That is not something I've heard the supervisors say. They have, and when you go back in the minutes, and you listen to meetings, they acknowledge that those developments paid for the paving, but they have focused on other things as to why they wanted the road.
And I think we agree with that too. It's, what's being put online or in the news that's, skewing maybe some of them.
Or what was one of their biggest topics was safety as to why it's being closed? would putting yourself in front of a moving vehicle be
Safe.
safe? No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But I think with school opening up soon and kids going to the buses and to and from the buses and stuff, if we had our roads wide open like we had before and we had that high volume, our kids would be in a dangerous situation. Because it's bad enough now when you're walking your dogs or your
Is
kids
that
riding
based off of
bikes
one
and
day?
What was the data time period?
What was the average? Was it 800 to 1,000?
One way.
That would be in the morning. And then duplicate that. Basically, all of the highway traffic here on a daily basis is coming through Quartzsite.
I have people like that on my road. You don't care about my kids' safety?
Okay, hey.
Hey, hold on a minute.
So.
That's not fair to say.
So I'm doing my best to take minutes. Pam's not here. So, first of all, I spoke to you on the phone. I just can't remember his name.
Yeah, Svetlana.
What?
Svetlana
Yeah, okay.
with a J.
I'll do my best in a minute. Okay, so, and then over here,
Barb.
And Barb's your last name, I'm sorry.
Bentley, Bensley.
Okay, so, I think the chair was trying to open it up to public comments about Quartzsite, and Barb mentioned concerns about increased traffic with schools starting. Svetlana, you were talking about, and I've explained, I'll put in there, that it's a public road, and I'll explain that. So other people have other things they want to say, or don't want to cut you off, but we need to do this in an orderly fashion. So-
Say your name and then what you got, comments you have.
Just raise your hand and he will call on somebody if you have something to say.
My name is Julie Smith. I live on Quartzsite with 3 small children. If anyone wants to reference a news article about safety, I'm sure we could spend the next hour and a half from the residents who have examples of safety issues when the road is open. I certainly have several. I think that comments regarding what's online and if it's a public road, etc., are kind of irrelevant. This is based on facts, and if it is a safety issue or not, that's my understanding from why the decision was made before. The safety issue is still present. So to the comment prior to about how long would we expect this road to be closed, I certainly can't say for the township, but my opinion would be when the safety issue is resolved, and that falls in line with the construction timeline. It is absolutely a safety issue on the road. I mean, potentially we can debate it for the next hour and a half. I don't feel like that's gonna be very fruitful. It's a safety issue. Everyone that lives on the road can see it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So I agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 things. Matthew Penning with Spark Fire Department, Fire Chief. One thing was, are we planning on tying down the sandbags on the barricades? We had an incident last night. We found the barricades were tied down to the sandbags, but it made it more difficult to move for that incident. Didn't know if we could avoid tying those sandbags to the actual barricade itself to make it a little bit easier to move. And then secondly was kind of projecting into winter here, which I know I don't really want to talk about snowfall, but are we able to plow that throughout this winter, even though the barricades would be in place, to make sure that we have ease of access to move the barricades, get trucks and apparatus in, without snow building up right where the barricades sit.
We're hoping a couple things on that. But tying the sandbags down, it wasn't our guys that did. First I heard it was tonight, but we'll make sure that's not that way. So you guys can get them.
I didn't know
Get
if it
them
was
moved.
part of a
But-
plan or whatnot,
Yeah.
but I just want to make sure that was.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the construction's going pretty good over here.
Yeah.
And there's some talk that if you get far enough along, they're gonna punch a road east and a road west. At that time, we'd look into opening it up. Cause even the speed bumps have to come out in the winter time. You know, we'll have to take them out, which is gonna be somewhere around October. We'll take them out of every development otherwise we'll tear them out. So,
So as far as snow maintenance goes, even if the.
we'll
road
still
construction's
open it
done,
up all the
we'll
way.
still get them up.
So are you saying they are behind? Because that was the original plan to open it back up in November, so they would have those roads open. So
No,
now
I don't-
you're saying it's maybe?
Well, what they told me downtown was if everything keeps going good as it is now, shouldn't be a problem. But he said, I'm not gonna promise you something and then come back and have to backpedal.
Well, they promised us something back over at the school.
Yeah.
When they were promoting that it'll be open in November through March.
Yeah.
So we better make sure if they're behind, let's not say we're gonna open it up.
And that's what I didn't say. I said if
Right.
everything goes good, that's what they're planning on doing.
It doesn't look like it's going good, so.
Well, I don't know. They got the tunnel about covered already today.
Early winter, they're done.
Um, Chief, can I ask you, because last time you had said you were going to work on producing data as response time. Do you have any, and you didn't say it was gonna be at this meeting, but do you
Yeah,
have
I don't have
anything that?
anything concrete at this time.
Okay.
Still kind of.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to give you that opportunity.
Mark Alpers, Split Rock Circle. I just wanted to thank you for the efforts you've made to create a safer neighborhood. It made a big difference. It made a big difference. And I know people for business reasons, for convenience reasons, for reasons of liberty of doing it fast as they want, those are all for those people. But I really do feel like safety has to be a priority, because if we don't keep our people safe, where are our values? So I appreciate what you've done.
Thank you.
I will say, Joe, thank you here. I will say that, anything I've said in these meetings, I certainly stand behind it, but I never came in here with intentions of making enemies, nor do I disregard anybody's safety. I do want that on record, but I do think that there's other viable options for, being able to, everybody come to an agreement here. As Matt said, last night there was an incident of the sandbags being tied down to the barricade. I believe you guys said you didn't do it. But I would like it to be also on record that if we are just gonna have a barricade, can we leave it at that? Nobody's tampering with it, whether that's a passerby or a resident of that area. I was aware that we were getting sandbags, but I will be honest, I was the one driving the truck at 2:15 this morning. And I've moved these barricades before. And I'm not kidding you guys, like sandbag weighs like 50, 60 pounds. So I get out of the truck, obviously moving quick, fast, in a hurry. And I grabbed that sandbag and went like this, and it did not go anywhere. I picked it up off the ground, the barricade about hit me in the side of the face. So I do think we need a general consensus here that we're not gonna tamper with the things that are put in place, if that's the way that the township wants it, this board of supervisors. Because it still does need to be accessible for those of us that are trying to help, and need to get through there. It does happen quite often up in your neighborhood. I hate to say it, barricades or not. But can we try to find out who tied it down and maybe reprimand them a little bit?
Just to make clear, so the fire department,
With the fire department.
Yeah,
I need
so-
it With the fire truck, you know, at 2:00.
yeah, to make clear, the supervisors last time said no issue with the fire department ever removing the barricade and not taking time to put it back.
Right.
Move the barricade, go,
I have other quarrels with that. but
yeah, that's was the
That's
direction.
for Matt to speak on.
That was the direction that they provided, is they are fine with the fire department doing that. I guess it wasn't discussed, the residents had said, we'll move it back for them, for the fire department. It wasn't discussed if the supervisors want the residents to move it back or not. Or if the supervisors are gonna, I don't know what you want with that. Do you want the residents to move the barricade back after the fire department has been in there? Do you want to keep it open until?
Well, when the fire department goes through there, they don't know if you need water or what. If you need water, you probably take that route with a water truck. You don't know.
No, but who's gonna,
It really-
because we're
But
saying the fire
afterwards-
department doesn't need to close it.
Yeah, I know, but
So who's supposed to be
afterwards,
closing?
we, my guy, the guy
Township
working the
guys.
township,
Okay,
he will make sure it's closed. He's been checking it every morning.
okay, so,
After the call was done last night, I did look back, so,
Thank you.
but I was very,
Yeah.
off put a little bit when I got tipped over. You know, it's 2:15 in the morning, I just got up bed and
Yeah.
going to help somebody and hear them, yank my arms off, I get hit by a barricade. And then I did, like, for lack of better terms, I had to hump the barricade all the way, cause it was like 250 pounds. It didn't want to move very easy, so I also do see if we do get into a wet or slippery situation that we're gonna have other challenges, just to have that in front of everybody.
Joe, you said you believe there are other viable options, but you didn't identify any. Did you wanna identify any viable
I
options?
think everybody knows my opinion of just opening it.
Collecting new data.
I got one.
Collecting new data would be a good idea.
I got one.
Okay.
Could we maybe have some residents that live there where we could give them the call when the alarm goes off? That we could have them move the barricade in advance?
There's too much going on, and that puts responsibility involving them in the fire service. That could be like an insurance issue.
I was gonna say, because I work out of my home, I could run over there,
I'm right there, so I.
And there's 10,000 things.
I put them back twice a day, so I might as well take it out.
There's 10,000 things going on, so the last thing I'm gonna think about is calling you guys.
Guys need like a foghorn or something, you can blow it up.
How about if I got their phone number and I called them when the fire alarm goes off?
Next option.
Let me look at this, the liability issue of
Okay.
that, if you don't mind
All right,
first.
I'd be willing to give my monthly salary up here too.
But then let me look at that, I just wanna make sure, I wanna make sure if we do it, we understand
Okay.
if we're taking on a risk.
All right.
And then you guys decide if that is a risk or not. You want to-
Can I sign a release or something?
My whole intent would just be to move the barricade. in
Yeah.
Because
advance.
I don't feel I'm in danger of moving the barricade.
I mean, yeah, I could draft a release.
All right, sign one too.
I could draft one.
Yeah.
Right here.
Get it done before they get
Okay,
there.
I'll work on that. Go ahead.
My name's Dan Roos, I live up the hill in Split Rock Heights. I have a couple things. Just for this barricade, it is getting ridiculous where some other, I think, people are playing with it. There's 2x4s. I like to come down to Uncle Ed's, just like maybe walk bicycle. It's almost impossible to ride a bicycle through there right now. The guy should be able to just walk or ride a bicycle down here without being impeded by 2x4s and rods and string and wire. I think it should be up to the township.
Well, the 2x4 is on my
Just
property.
wait,
Okay, so find out where the property line is and at least the public stuff, clean that up and make it accessible for the fire department, at least walking through. That's my point on that. My other one going forward is for the courtside people, when this opens up, can we have a no commercial traffic signs like it other do? So you can come through if the contractor wants to work on somebody's house, but we keep the passerby truck traffic, and I won't mention who, but just keep keep your hog trucks out of here as a cut through.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other point, another thing is, are we gonna put the speed bumps back in the spring? Because I still got people going through the stop sign by my house at 60 mile an hour before they get to the speed bump.
We'll look at the spring and stuff, and I'm sure a lot of them will be going back.
Yeah.
And as far as the hog and stuff, we got weight limits on there too, so I mean.
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I know, but it only works if we got people like you guys out there to tell us license plates and, and who owns them. Those bull haulers, when they came through there, that was really uncalled for.
But it's something as simple as no commercial traffic through the neighborhood. I've seen those signs in other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, that stop signs don't work either.
No.
Yeah.
Speed signs don't work.
Has there been some police there or not?
A couple times.
I called for hi, Nancy Thompson. I live on the corner with the new speed sign, opposite from this corner with the new speed sign. Stop sign, sorry. And sheriff's department showed up and parked right by the stop sign. Everybody stopped. He left, they all started running with him. And I haven't seen him back since.
Yeah, we have a group of people that live down Split Rock Circle that totally ignore stop sign. They don't even slow down. They just, one speed right through it.
They've sent them the minutes, sent it to the police, the minutes and stuff, and each time they tell me that they're gonna come there and try to do it.
We've
but
got
that's why
video
it's-
cameras on the intersection, and if we could list make, model, type, address, it's the same offenders.
What they gonna do? Slap their hand.
A couple of them got tickets, and apparently that didn't help either, so now they honk in ways that pissed at me when they drive by my house, like I'm the one that gave them the ticket. I just wave and say, have a nice day.
We're the same in our neighborhood.
And I call it all the time.
Like specific people.
Go ahead.
My name is Alana Aggie, Joe's wife. So I do want to say, like he said, our point is not to endanger anybody. Obviously, my husband has spent hundreds of hours away from his own family and away from our kids to better this community by devoting his, 16 years to this fire department, to answer the phone calls, to answer the heart attacks, the house fires that have happened up in off of Portside in that area. So our intention is not to harm anybody by any means. A petition that I started was not a malicious attempt at anything. It was just to get people's voices heard that still have an impact on our community. Whether they can't be here because of other commitments, like I couldn't be here last time due to other commitments with my kids. But I do have a signed petition with over 150 people who care about opening the road because it is a public road. And we understand safety, and I mean, I take care of, like, I put safety at a top priority for my own kid. My own kid cannot go on a bicycle without a helmet.
It's a helicopter.
You're about the only one in that neighborhood that was.
Yeah. And I'm not saying on 38th Street, it happens all the time. I've had Rich standing there with me. I mean, but when you're talking about safety, we can only do so much, right? I can't hold somebody else at a higher standard to hold my kid's safety more than priority than I can as a parent towards my own kid. My kid knows that when there's a car coming, she needs to step off to the side, let the car pass, and that is that. I understand we have high speeds on 38th Street, on 41st Street. She is not allowed to go on 41st Street, even though it is a public road. She can only go on 38th Street, but only so far as to maybe Keys, because of high speeds. Emma grew up on 38th Street, and she can speak to that, decades of fast people driving.
41st was always off of express.
Yep.
And that's the same thing as what we would expect for courts, yes.
Yep.
It's hard to comply with the random people who are coming through. We can't.
Okay.
What I want to continue to say is, at the same time, we can only do so much.
One person at a time, please, one person.
But what I want to say is, we can only do so much, but at the end of the day, that is a public road. Are we
Okay.
gonna close down every single road in the township when it's about safety?
Oh.
And when it comes to also safety, like Dan said over here about, the barricades, there's signs on there talking about active landmines. I mean, what about safety? Okay, I mean, there's just ridiculous things put on there.
It's not your neighborhood.
Okay, let's move on. We got more people want to talk.
So I guess safety doesn't matter unless it's in that neighborhood.
Let's move on. Hold on a minute. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Brent Culp. I live at Courtside Circle down the bottom.
Brent, I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name.
Culp, C-U-L-P as in Papa. And I think, I get what you're saying, but we don't have any sidewalks.
I don't either. I live on 38th Street.
So,
No
I mean, the
sidewalks.
amount of traffic that went through, no sidewalks.
People think it's a through road on 38th Street all the time. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just trying to explain to you where we live. People think it's a through road all the time.
And I get it, but and that maybe that's something to be said, but we don't have sidewalks here. So
Gentleman
that's my
has
concern.
the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good, but we can debate it all day long. So.
Okay.
Is it me?
Yeah.
So kind of- So, no, so just, I just want some of the people that maybe haven't been to some of the meetings to know that just because you put up 2 barricades with 4 sandbags, those people were going around the barricades, up through his backyard, up against his fence. My husband and I were out doing yard work one day, 4 motorcycles, full speed, going up through his, the barricades were there, but they were going around and doing the motorcycles up through his yard, onto our street, and then peeling out in front of our house while we're outside with our pets and stuff. So there's a lot more that people don't even realize, Phil, that are going on that street that make it unsafe, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so we left a little space for bicycles. Remember after the last meeting, there was a space for bicycles and stuff, but I don't know. I have a grandchild that comes over on Mondays, and I was scared to death to let her out when we had the full-fledged traffic. Those people, and it's not the businesses, it's the people that live in those apartments, and it's the highway traffic that wanted a quicker way to get to where they were going besides, you know, the detours. So those are the biggest offenders, is some of those people. So how do you keep them out?
Okay.
And I didn't get your name, I'm sorry.
I'm Sticky Cox, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, anybody got any new, other thing else to talk about, or we're just repeating the same thing?
We've got something new on this subject.
Okay, say your name.
Chuck Weiss. As an owner of property on both sides of the barricade, I do not have a problem driving 2.5 miles around to get to where I'm going. Or if I really want to, I can go park my car by the barricade, and I can walk in if I need to. That's not a problem. This could be for Lisa or any of you guys that might know it. Is there a law, is it illegal to move a barricade, a road closed barricade?
I don't know the answer, if it's illegal to move a road closure sign.
That would be a sheriff's question or?
Yeah, and I'd have
They
to,
didn't have an answer.
I would have to research South Dakota law and see if there's a law.
Okay, I
Is that
just haven't-
tampering public, I haven't been
Check it
asked.
out, but
I don't know the answer.
I think it is, but I'm not sure. Anyway. I'm done.
Is there also a law that requires the township to maintain the open status of a public roadway?
No. The supervisors have the ability to close a road.
Do you have a roadway law to reference that?
They are responsible for decisions regarding the roads, and a decision regarding the road, in my legal opinion, is whether or not to close it. And there certainly are lots of laws on vacating roads permanently, but that's not what's going on. But they're elected to make the decisions about the roads.
Okay, I think we've heard pretty much.
No, is there anybody else that has something else? Because
Anybody else got anything new?
I have a suggestion for the city, I guess. Madison and 26th Street, why don't they put in everything or something so that you can actually turn left, you know, without, because the traffic's backing up right there.
We've talked to them about it, but they just don't have it. They should have done that intersection
Should've
way
done
prior
that.
to, and they didn't do it.
That's what happened first.
It's for planning, sorry.
Yeah.
I think at 26 and 6 Mile, when they put the temporary lights up, I think everybody drove by there and went, wow, those are, you can't even turn a semi next to those. So I can't even hardly turn my 28-foot trailer next to it.
That's right.
So, I mean.
No, it's just
more
bad
in
planning.
the city, 100%. I think we're way too late to even consider,
Yeah.
you know, shutting down another road to put in a turn lane.
Yeah. Anything new, guy? Anybody have anything new?
One last thing, I'm Jared Coacher from Quartzsite Circle. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of the safety issue. Again, this is a 4-lane highway going 45 miles an hour, and they're trying to push that through a 1-lane township road at 25. There is a huge safety risk there, and it isn't because of just they're giving a favor to our township area. I mean, I don't know of any other road where they're pushing a 4-lane highway through a township and leaving it open, because everybody will take that quick route through there if they can. So I just wanted to be aware of that. It's not a single lane highway that was closed. It was a 4-lane highway with turning lanes, and there was a ton of accidents over there already on that 4-lane highway. So there's children that walk this road. We don't have sidewalks, but the sun is tough in the mornings when it's coming up driving down that road, and there will be a head-on collision at some point if all that traffic is going through that neighborhood. And we don't want that to happen, because
I will also say, I'm right in front of the highway all day long, 6 to 7 days a week, so the traffic certainly has dissipated through here. The only semis that really come through here anymore are, TNR Contracting or the ones working down here, so. I do believe that a lot of people have figured out what the detour routes are.
Yeah.
I mean, I could stand out in front of the shop and see a car go by for several minutes.
Just what they said is, the city's got the detours so bad. I mean, I've talked to people at work that sit 2 miles in a line. They'll go back, they'll find that opening. There's people talk fast.
Yeah. Okay, let's, move on to 6th item.
Can I just, did you want, so you had mentioned your petition, did you want to
Yeah,
present
I'd
it?
love to. There's multiple names on here from almost every single business along this road right here. I mean, I'm not gonna single-handedly say all the names, but.
No,
you're
I mean,
more
I
than
just,
welcome
we
to
can
have
put
it.
it in the record, so. And just so that I understand, you have names but not signatures?
Well, it's an online one, that's what it generates.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah, it was
physical.
through like
It's-
change.org.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can also email you the petition itself. Yeah.
Yeah, you can send me a PDF and I can see, just so I have it for the
Yeah,
the
it
file.
just came to me as like a Excel spreadsheet.
Is it all township people or no?
No, it's also public, it just, I mean, it's a public road, so public input, also people who work in the township, pay taxes in the township, own business in the township without specifically living in the township or work in the township, or otherwise also, commit their time and volunteers towards our community as well.
The majority say yes. Okay, thanks, I'll put that. So,
Now we're gonna move on to 6.
One more.
Hi, I'm Joy Johnson. I have a property interest in Split Rock Road. I'd like to just say that the inappropriate traffic does not stop. We live right on the corner, so all of it comes right by our home. We can have a semi pull in at 2 or 3 in the morning and idle in front of our house while they're looking at their cell phone trying to figure out how to get out the back. And sometimes they'll back up into Powder House, try and turn themselves around. But most of the time they end up going around, all in 10, 15 minutes later, here they come back out the development. So the traffic doesn't stop just because there's a barricade in the back and there's signs up front. They still try and weasel through. My point in saying that is that road was not designed for commercial traffic. It was designed for residential use. And so it's getting a lot of unnecessary wear and tear, and the residents there did pay for that road. So when it's shot in the next 4 or 5 years, because so much traffic is run over it, we're gonna get assessed again if we wanna fix our road. Just saying.
Yeah, we understand.
Has anybody reported that section closed to Google Maps?
Yes.
Yes, it was, when we first started, we did that. We called the engineers and they were supposed to reroute.
We put the signs up there.
Yeah.
Did anyone check the Apple Maps? Because I had to have Apple Maps remove my driveway as a route.
Really?
My driveway, we had to write in the letter.
Can I say something? I would also say based off of the Dakota News article as well, there's a lot of public comment on there, and it is the city's fault. I think honestly, it's city's poor planning is where all of our anger should be, because it is generating a lot of people into neighborhoods that obviously wasn't intended for that. You know, the reroute or whatever. And I personally have spoken to Shannon as well. I've expressed my concern for that as well, because it has affected almost each person's life, if not every single day. You know, some of us aren't retired, so the 2 extra miles is not every single day. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I'm just saying that there's more to it than just safety.
Okay. Now let's move on to 41st Street.
No, I'm Sean again, and I live on Quartzsite. With those apps like Google and Apple, they rely on public information. So if anybody goes by, they can change if the road is open or closed. Google will ask you, is this open? Is this closed? And so if a truck goes through and it's open again, they can say it's open. And now the next truck that wants to come through, it routes it through the neighborhood because the previous person that just went through said that construction site is gone. Just like an accident, they'll ask you, is the accident there? If the accident's not there, you say no, it removes it from the map, so it doesn't slow down traffic. So be careful on your Apple and your Google Maps, because if you're just relying on the signs, I can go in and remove it on my app.
Good to know.
And Sean, I didn't get your last name, I'm sorry.
Enan, I-H-N-E-N.
Okay. Now we'll move on to 41st Street. What we got going on there?
I don't know, I was asked to put it on.
So again,
On 41st Street?
yeah, it's, I was looking back on the minutes and stuff, and I didn't see much of a discussion about the high volumes of cars coming through there with the construction, you know, happening elsewhere.
And the school season.
And school season, I mean, right now, if you drive on 41st Street, almost at any time of the day, especially in the morning, you're about to get hit head on immediately at high rates of speed. I think Virgil can attest to a lot of it. I think we have data that references a car going as fast as 60 miles over the speed limit, meaning they're going 90 on gravel. Again, we don't have sidewalks. We have kids who want to go ride their bike to school.
And the road's hilly and it's narrow.
So
So
what
we
about-
take it upon ourselves to then teach our children and tell our children about the safety of it and not going on there or just walking when you see a vehicle and.
Because the other thing I wanna say is, so I drop my kid off at school every morning for school time, and I pick her up. When I go on 38th Street at 7:00, 7:30, 7:45, I can barely get onto 6 Mile Road off of 38th Street. 41st Street would be my easy way out, but is that gonna get my family killed? But, so are we gonna shut down that road because of safety?
No, we are allowed.
We're kind of getting off track here.
No, we're on 41st Street.
I know, but we're talking about the heaters, the reroute.
Well, I'm trying to express my concern, and it's.
Yeah, and I realize.
Can we stop the it's hard to hear over here,
I'm
so.
I'm just trying to express my concern. I mean, at this point, I'm just based off of your example of what the precedence is kind of set, is that we're shutting down roads because of safety. Is that our next step for 41st Street? Is speed bumps gonna be something we can look into on 38th and 41st Street? They're not. They're split rocks.
Yeah, they're section line.
They gravel. I think Maple would be obviously in there too, for like Robert Bennis being down there in the interview.
So that would be new public comment, so we're on 41st
Correct,
Street now, so
correct.
just wait till that. So 41st Street, there's been concern with this high speed and high volume of traffic, and are you asking the supervisors to look at whether something can be done there?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So on 41st Street, has there been some police there?
No.
Somebody told me that there was some there, but
It
they
has
didn't.
been when I've called them in. When
Yeah.
we have people driving fast at the end of our road down off of Unique, these teenagers.
Okay.
We've talked to the parents themselves, and the mom says, "See, well, how did you clock in going that fast?" I mean, it's those kinds of questions that really make your blood boil. Because I'm putting my kids' safety, you know, at the top of my priority. But at the same time, are we gonna shut down every single road in the township? I guess that's my question for the board members.
Okay, so I think they can go and take a look at 41st Street and see if there's a concern they have there, and they can talk about maybe what can be done. So that's. what
So
you're
when
asking.
will the final decision be made to do something about it before school starts in the next week?
Probably not, because we're gonna need another township meeting if they're gonna do something. I mean, they can call the police and do those things, but in terms of other things that I think they can use their discretion to put a speed bump if they decide that, you know, they need to go look at it, make a decision if there's something they can do. But in terms of like a road closure, I don't think unless you have a tornado.
No, I agree, that's what I'm saying.
Let me finish.
Sure.
You're not going to have them make a decision like that unless there's a public meeting.
What's the car count on that one, Virgil?
Well, like I
And
said,
what
I
was
did
it
talk to the
before?
police on that one there, and they told me that they were on 41st Street, so that's why I'm a little bit confused.
I highly doubt it.
The last time I looked, the traffic count, 2 years ago when the signs were there, and then the traffic count here 2 months ago was the same.
Same.
What
But this-
signs?
Pardon? The
Or traffic management signs.
Oh, those signs, okay.
The speeds are still, 40, 50 miles an hour pretty easily.
substantial amount of people drive much faster. I can pull up a report.
But the numbers of cars are about the same.
The last time I looked, I'll look again.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have more because of the apartments on the south side.
Yeah.
They created some traffic
Gonna
there.
get bigger and bigger and-
Yeah, but it's still driving on 41st. Joe?
Hi, yes, Joe still, and, I would say that this would be a pretty good prerequisite, conversation for when Arrowhead gets redone over by the Arboretum. And like this side of the river, say to Willow Run, 26th Street area, cause 41st Street is absolutely gonna blow up when that's under construction. At least with the way the city likes to shut down roads.
And the sad thing is that the same police officer that's set at Inspiration is the same officer for Fred Assam, it's the same resource officer for Ben Rifle and Rosa Parks. So if something, God forbid, happens, the only thing we can bank on is the fire department that's on 41st Street.
Can we hire a constable for our township?
I don't
Used
know.
to.
I don't know. I can look at it.
I was the last constable.
We can hire one? You were one?
No, I was, and then they
Changed the law.
abolished the position.
They what?
The state abolished the position.
Yeah, it's not a, yeah, I don't, like, I'll look at that. I don't know. They may have, and we can't, but I don't know.
I would just ask that the board members at least put in, speed bumps in the next, before the next township meeting, I would hope, I mean,
And where do you want the speed bumps exactly?
on 41st Street between, I'd say anywhere between Daniel and 6 Mile Road would be kind of where there's a big hill that you can't see once the car, you're kind of over it. Otherwise, when you go up that hill, I don't know what that road is, heading east, what's the next hill?
Oh, up my phone.
What is it? Yeah, but that's,
Daniel's the last one in our neighborhood, and then
yeah,
the next one would be River Bluff over by Bloomsdale.
yeah.
So between Daniel and 6 Mile Road and
Yeah.
41st Street.
And then a little bit, the next dip down, that's by Bloom's place, I guess, I'm sure the board members know where that is.
So I think they said they'll go take a look at it and see if they think there's some things that can be done or need to be done.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks for hearing us out every month.
Okay. Now we're moving on to new business. Which we pretty much covered.
I don't have any, there's nobody told me any new business we have,
No.
so.
Okay, elected officials update. Todd, do you have anything?
I've had some phone calls and people thanking me for being up on this side of the table. I had a phone call the other day for the work that Postmas did on Douglas Avenue recently in Rowena. And it's nice to hear. I understand everybody's got lights in the world and it's gonna be in the past before long. Thanks for those positive phone calls that we get on our cell phones.
Marv, you got anything? No, we got, we're gonna cut some more trees in the township. Over there on 265. So he'll be back in town. We're gonna, we got some more work for him to do.
And that's under $10,000
Yes.
that you're authorizing him to do.
Yep. Yes.
Should we make a motion or something?
You want a motion?
I would love a motion.
Okay, so I have a motion to pay for the tree removal.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
What's his name again?
You gonna contact him or you want me to email him back?
P-I-E, P.
Is you gonna contact him, Rich?
Why can't you one?
Well, yeah, if you do it, go ahead then.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
so we tell him that
Okay.
one of us tells him. That
Yeah. And then we got another place in the township, that we're gonna do some cleaning of the ditch out. We got a bid from Randy Postma. or proposal from Randy Postma, stand corrected. $88,541.50. That's to take the ditch down 2 foot.
What ditch?
That's on, I can tell you where it's at. I can give you the numbers.
482.
Yeah, 482,
42 and just,
265.
yeah, just south of that.
Yeah.
Water comes out, it's been filling in the ditch and stuff, and now one culvert's full, and it's running over the road, so we're gonna straighten that out.
So there's a motion.
So, I'm looking for a motion to,
I'd make a motion to move forward.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
And I'm sorry, who made the motion for the tree
Uh,
surface? No, the one right before
Marv
this.
did.
Marv.
Okay, and then Todd, did you second?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
And that's all I have.
I just had the Rolina camera scanned in and sent there, and then they said that next couple of weeks, probably that camera's gonna be up, and that's just for the Amber Alert camera, that camera and stuff, and that. Yeah, so that's the only thing I had.
Okay. Lisa, you got any-
I'm not an elected official.
No,
I keep my
Pam
mouth
is.
shut.
You're kind of taking her place. You're kind of taking her place. Okay, public comments. Anybody want to address the township? Any other item what we have been?
Kind of what we talked about, 41st Street for Maple there, so I don't think we need to, do that more, Sana.
But what, I mean, I didn't write anything down, so.
Well, for
Maple
the
what?
safety aspect with school starting, if there's anything that the township supervisors can look at to maybe alleviate some traffic or to, keep it at a safe speed for with school starting here. Maple gets to be quite a racetrack, drag strip, I'll call it that. Racetracks are around. But if that's something that you guys can just, as you're looking at 41st Street as well, to look at Maple.
Where's our speed, the,
Quartzsite, 41st, and Pine Lake Drive.
We could move one of those.
Pine Lake Drive up.
Probably wouldn't.
Maple,
if you
Probably
look
should
at
move
when
that.
school starts,
anytime.
I don't know.
So which one we wanna move, the Pine Lake Hill?
I would, because that's traffic is station, those two live low.
Yeah, that one is, it seemed to have worked, and it's been there a while, so.
Do you guys wanna move that over on Maple?
Probably should move it around. They get stagnant after a while.
Yeah,
So-
they ignore them.
You know, yeah.
So we're on Maple back up on the top of the hill there again, or?
I would say. Indian.
Gotta change the speed. I'll pull it in and then have them change the speed. We have to change the speed on Pine Lake Hill, which is 25. And switch it to 35 and then let you know about programming.
And we'll have traffic counts from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we can use to compare.
Okay, I'll move it in there so he changes, Troy changed the sign. I think he's working well.
You got the kids.
And then once he gets it switched, then I'll move it over to Maple.
Okay.
Can I say something on the speed bump though? Last week we talked about you could probably take the one on Quartzsite that was at the corner there, because people are driving into people's yards to go around it anyway, so it's not really doing much. Did you guys ever consider that? We talked about it at the last meeting. The one right where the stops, like when you first enter into like Split Rock there, and then there's that speed bump right there in front of those people's house. I don't know that it's serving a lot of purpose there. Does anybody on Quartzsite think it is? Other than people are going around into those people's yard all the time. So we talked about it the last meeting that we could take it if you wanted. I don't know if anybody, when you were just talking now about needing speed bumps and.
Or is there like a different type of speed bumps? Because the speed bumps are rough. Like when you go over them slow, it's like rough. Like it's. Yeah, better be hitting fast. So, yeah, I don't know if there's different options or different types of speed bumps you can put in, but those are kind of ridiculous.
It's there.
Yeah.
there's not even really a house there.
Well, we can take that one out, that's not a problem. I mean, we're gonna take them out in October anyway, but.
Which one is it? Quartzsite, where's it by?
Right, you go in, right
Front entrance.
when you pull off the highway and go in, Highway 100 and then do it. Very first one.
East, west.
Three Split Rock Road, Forsyth Road.
East.
Where it's placed, it's kind of hard to turn to get on there, so your tires are right on it too, you know? And it's sensible to get to the street.
So you're gonna pull that one up, you pull the one on the east end of Quartzsite too. I don't think that one does a lot. You guys know. I don't think so. Yeah, there's one right
Right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole inch as well, but you know, the third road.
It does deter them a little bit, because they're not sure how they go over it and through the barricade, and it makes them
But
stop.
now,
and think.
can we also ask that in order to
Hey.
remove the impact of land?
This is an order.
Oh, somebody does what?
The lady who asked about moving the speed bumps, are you done with
And
it?
the one by the barricade too probably isn't really serving any purpose, either the speed bump, right?
Lisa just said it there.
So if there's neighborhoods that need it worse, it saves us money. I don't know if we own them or we rent them or,
We own them.
okay.
Okay, we do those two then. Anything else? Any others?
As a follow-up on, I'm sorry, what was your name?
It's Vicky.
Vicky. So we actually, I have a property interest in the house in the corner, and just to clear the air about the yellow chains that we put up, we don't have actual cars driving through our ditch. What we have are kids on bikes, motorbikes, golf carts, any of those kinds of motorized bikes.
Trying to go around it.
But that ditch is really steep, and we're afraid that, and we have a retaining wall that holds up our driveway. And we really fear that some child is going to come down that ditch and then hit our retaining wall and get hurt. So after a long conversation I had with Mr. Agee here a couple of months ago, I finally, after the problem kept happening, we finally, put some chains up and some signs. So far, that seems to have helped.
It's on your property.
And it's in the ditch, I don't know if it's a right of way or, you know, what that is, but I did get permission from the township to hang that up, so.
Oh, I agreed with your chains.
Thank you.
But that's, we're taking the speed bump out you're talking about then?
At the entrance.
Yeah.
That's the entrance.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
They'll cover that
we're
then.
the first house on the north.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They'll
then
cover
probably
that.
remove the chains, so we're just worried about a child hitting our retaining wall, which is brick.
Yeah.
Because that
Okay.
ditch is really, really steep. And they're riding through
Okay.
it with their bikes.
I'll get those two removed, 2 spots.
Well, you're doing both of them or just the one at
Both
the
of 'em.
entrance?
One on the entrance and one at the,
And the barricade.
on the end of the barricade.
I do have
Other
another
public comment?
comment.
Any other public comment?
I do have another comment.
We do, if you get done with Quartzsite on 41st, because we have a couple things on McCurdy is also.
Okay,
Still
so,
not done.
thank you. We live, or my father owns a house, first house we enter on the north side of the road. Quartzsite, the turn to Quartzsite is literally like 20 feet past our driveway. And what we're getting is 2 or 3 times a day, people driving up our driveway because GPS told them to turn right there. And that's getting to be a problem because we have a curb in our driveway, and when we back out, now they're hitting our retaining wall, they're backing into the driveway, getting into mud, they're hitting the landscaping. So I put up a couple of signs that said private property. I don't really understand how people can turn in there and look at it and not realize it's private, but it's a home and not a road. But this is like a 2 to 3 times a day. My suggestion to remedy this would be to put up a sign that says Quartzsite with a big arrow on it. Because apparently they can't see around our tree line. And so they don't see, there's a hole on that east side, we have a tall pine tree line, and I don't think they're seeing around it. But literally, it's like 20, 25 feet, and
We'll look at it tomorrow.
thank you.
I just had one last comment regarding Dan over here. So he had mentioned if you guys were gonna be removing some of the things attached to the barricades in the right of ways on Quartzsite. Is that something you're looking at doing? I mean, there is some, I'd say, not so great signs put up attached to the barricade and things that could be very like fear mongering and.
I think they were going
Right.
periodically and looking, and if somebody put up something on the barricade that was not township supervisor directed, they were removing it. So they're going out periodically, like you said something about landmines, they're going out periodically and looking at it.
To my knowledge, it's still there.
It's on private property, but
It's in the right of way.
yes, and the right of way is owned by the people that own it.
Right, so
What does the right of way even mean?
You pay, right of way means we got the right to take care, to go into it and
If
do what
you
we gotta
need to,
do.
you
but
can't tell him what
You guys pay the taxes on it. So you pay the center of the road.
Was it 33 feet to center?
Yep.
Okay, a couple things from McCarty
Can
Road.
you give me your
over there.
name,
We
though?
haven't
I'm
been here.
sorry.
Corey and Steve Thompson. And we appreciate the maintenance team when they're coming out and doing the gravel roads, because that's been better, although we have a lot of extra traffic on our road now. So we have one question. We have been having a lot of semi-big rigs, reefers, like food trucks, other flatbed ones, big ones going by quite frequently. I've started to take pictures, or we do have cameras too. What is, are they allowed to do that? I mean, on our little, it's a 2-mile road, residential agriculture, we probably have about a quarter of McCarty with the farm stuff. But this just started, a couple months, probably back 3 months ago. And we also know there's construction people going to the developments in East Brandon that are cutting through like big, what do you call them, side dump trucks?
Side dumps,
with
yeah.
the big loads or whatever back and forth. And Todd did, we called him on one time and said, are they supposed to be doing this? Because they're also coming around you have it posted on the site that, McCarty's 35, but we're in the S curve where our house is anyway.
Right.
And that's 25 posted on the, the S curve signs. Well, nobody does like everywhere else. They don't even do 50 probably around the curve. So of course they're going fast, and these big rigs are going fast as well as the neighbors and other people. So I don't know I know there's sign limits. If there's more increase, do you guys talk to like Brandon? If there are these contractors that are going through and they're really taking the shortcut, for one thing, now there's the stop sign on Madison and Highway 11. So I don't know if they're coming to Cherry Rock, turning up and coming in and going over there, but it's a lot. And we've had a couple, 2 or 3 new houses. So of course there's a few, landscapers or whatever coming in, but this is more excessive. So is there a tonnage limit on our road, and can that be posted, or is that posted? And do we have the right just to call authorities then and report that? For the last probably 4 or 5 years, we haven't seen a deputy sheriff presence at all, ever going through out there. And we know they're busy, but it used to be that at least they patrolled through once in a while. So again, anybody, going over the speed limit, they don't stop at the stop sign down on the road you had cut off, the 264. So of course we get more traffic because that road is closed, and our vote and a lot of the neighbors, the garbage guys, is that road gets open. And I know that's always up for discussion and debate over time, but that's really caused a lot more traffic too, for the people having to go around, emergency personnel not being able to get through. So anyway, I don't know, what can we do about these big rigs going through? We have, same thing, kids riding the bike, people walking their dogs. It's still country, but yet it's busy because it's a lot more houses. Is there anything we can do about that? What's the load limit on those little bridges on Beaver Creek and Split Rock? Are those posted? I don't think they are.
They
but-
should be 80.
That's a section line road, right?
Yeah.
So that's.
80,000.
Talk to the county. What the section line, do we need to talk to the county?
We can talk to the county, and they can put signs up. They own the bridges.
Okay.
But if somebody, they're coming up 264 and then turning and going north.
Past your place.
Yeah, and like,
Like they're Cisco, they're these big semis now, so I don't know if somebody's getting
reefer
rerouted.
trucks are going that way, and they got this food stuff on the side of the trailer. So, did the GPS tell them to go that way? Did the Brandon, or where else would they be going to take that route?
Good question. I don't have the answer to that.
It'd have to be a GPS.
And
we've got our
I'll
neighborhood.
look to see if you can put an axle limit on a section line road, because that's a section line road.
I don't know what, I don't know.
Yeah, so
It's a little
I'll
too
look
mild.
to even see, and then they can decide if one, can they, and then two, if they can do some limits. But I would tell you, every place that we have a sign that says, here, this many axles, they drive through it anyway. And then what happens is I have sent letters out where residents have called and said, here's a picture of this whatever truck went on the road. And I've sent letters out saying, you know, here's your fine and you need to pay it, which, yeah, can't do they? I mean, sometimes yes. So let me look to see if you can do that in a section line. I don't know that we
Yeah,
have any.
and we're okay too, like, we just don't wanna bug, I mean, if somebody goes by and is suspicious or whatever, you know, we call the deputies off, you know, not the 911, and they're good to respond if there's something, you know, like a crime or something that we think is going on, but we don't know who to talk about to the roads, I mean, other than you guys take care of the gravel and that, but, you know, we pay taxes too on a lot of McCarty Road, but yeah, then all these people are doing it, and then plus, it doesn't help that these little businesses are coming up with this dog kennel to the south of us and all this other stuff that's going on. And then they they bring in more traffic as it is, and then now you have these big trucks. We're retired now, so we don't leave, and we have big potholes outside of our driveway because they slide around the curve, you know, and then these big rigs are going through. So if anybody could, check on that for us, that would be appreciated. The intersection, we also wanna ask a safety issue on 263 and McCarty, so McCarty's the straight. 263, there's no, you know, McCarty's a straight, 263 comes to a T. As a few more houses have been built out in some of that farmland, there's just again more traffic, and because they can't go around on 264. But they're coming around and taking it very fast as a curve, and they don't stop, and now there's corn. This year there's corn on that corner. And so wondering if we could at least get a yield sign or a stop sign, because there's no signage on there.
Yep.
And so, you know, he doesn't want a three-way, but I said, at least even a three-way, it has to be slower, because I have personally almost seen and been in an accident because they come right at you. And then they also come and take that curve so bad that kids riding their bikes on the road could be hit because they take it, you know, wrong. So the signage on that would be.
We'll probably put a stop sign on 263 then.
Yeah, or whatever,
Because that-
whatever you think is
That's the one that
appropriate
tees
or
into
where.
it, the other one's straight, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
it's mostly when they turn to go north.
Yeah.
It's going, when you're going also south towards,
Right in front of your guys'
Yeah.
place there. It's very-
because I've gone from picking up from soccer practice and going that way and, you know, going around or whatever. But it's a really just, it's
It's
a
a
dangerous
fun,
road.
it's a fun curve when you're
But
a
even if you're going
teenage
20,
kid,
30
they
miles an
spin
hour,
around, you know,
You can't
it's.
see, when you're kind of
So-
going south, it's so hard to see what's coming around the corner.
And the same thing where there are so many people, and some of them are the neighbors to the south for sure, that I know do that, but the stop sign on 264 where it's dead ended because of the bridge, you know, that's not being open.
Yep.
They don't stop, they just go straight through that too, which not very often are there cars coming from the left, but there are sometimes. Or cars coming up the hill and then they're taking that really fast and not stopping there. There's already a stop sign there, but I just wanted you to be aware of that that's really getting kind of bad. Then a couple other things, and I think one time maybe Steve mentioned this to Todd, but it was years ago, they put up all this reflective signage out there that's bright in places. But ever since then, right on the intersection from Highway 11 getting onto 264 by Cherry Rock, so down by Picasso's there's no reflectors or anything. They never put anything back up marking the edges of the road. There used to be something on the stop sign or whatever. So in the winter, it's super dark. If it's snowy, you can't see the road, and especially if people don't know the road, we kind of do, but so if something like little reflectors or I don't know what you call
There
them.
used to be two white reflector on each side in the ditch, kind of mark where the road was when you went to turn on to.
I'm sure they just took them down and never put any back up, but, and then also there's that spot, there's lots of big orange reflectors that they put out that help, certain things, but where that riprap was put, where the flooding had taken out some of that, that's Beaver Creek right there, yeah. So on the south side of 264, there's nothing marking that, and so like now it's weeds and you don't see that right a couple inches off the road is that riprap and, you know, down there, so they never put posts back in there. So I don't know if something could be put back there. Couple kids went in, you know, the ditch during the winter and if they don't get hurt, that's.
It's gonna get worse, especially now with school starting, soccer practices happening at McCarty.
Yeah, it's busy.
It's just gonna get really bad, and especially if we are having delay with our response times with Split Rock.
So right now, she
I know, I'm
has the
just-
floor,
Yeah.
not you.
Thanks for the affirmation, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
I know.
No, but I mean, it just.
You got anything else then?
Yeah, we already said we vote for 264 to be reopened. It really causes problems in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
it's traffic, and we know that.
We're trying, but
You're talking about that, I know.
yeah, several
Um,
times.
Businesses can't do anything. I talked about the yield signs, the reflectors, dumping in the, and I know like when you said, well, there's a rule, but people don't follow it. Well, but if you don't have a rule that's noted, so with the dumping, we get so many people throwing trash out there. I mean, Todd's heard that before, I'm sure more, different people have over the years. One thing is like, I called in because every time there's the carnival Memorial Day, and it might be the carnies or just people coming there, there's always some furniture, big crap thrown down along our roadway. This time I had the guy, I saw him go, but I didn't have my phone, so I ran in, made sure I got my phone when he was coming back empty, and we called it in. But then they said, well, just call your township and have them pick it up. They weren't gonna do anything about it. So if we don't have any enforcement or anything, what good does it do? Do what?
Who did you call?
The deputy sheriff?
And they wouldn't do anything?
He told us to call Todd or somebody.
But
And have him pick it up.
citation.
No. He said, well, for one thing, I didn't get the license number. I had the type of vehicle, and stuff with it. And then we have cameras, so we can get pictures for people, depending on the quality around the curb and
Because if
something.
you're able to do that, I can talk to the deputy sheriff's department, the sheriff and the state's attorney and get some citations issued. But I've gotta have more than just make a car. So
Okay, well, the neighborhood is
So that
having
happens.
our picnic at the end of the month. And some of the neighbors, I think we can talk about. Is there anybody that's got I'll say like a crime watchers or a neighborhood watch formally in any of the township? Do we know? We thought about trying to just, have a local group at one time, and we just would be looking for advice on things, but.
I don't know that there's a
That you
separate
know of one?
township
Okay.
neighborhood watch, but you could sure start.
I'll join you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to do it too.
So those are things we just would ask your consideration. We know you're busy and that there's a lot of things to be done with a lot of neighborhoods, but, we know also that Brandon keeps growing out and around us, so it's just getting busier and busier, but.
That S curve right in front of my house going to the south has got a lot of,
No, they spin out there.
washboard in it. The other curve is okay, but that one's a little bit sharper, and right now it's, when you go around it, your car goes back in, so.
He's supposed to went over there and did that one on the hill, coming up the hill from the landscaping.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that today.
Oh,
So
did
that
that,
got
yeah.
washed
Did we
for
look- Yeah, so that gets so washed out when we have the heavy rains,
Yeah.
so that side on the south is bad, but yeah, we appreciate, they really tried to do, a good job and get out there when it's wet, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, always do. Okay,
We got one over here.
We got one.
I just had a suggestion for you. We were getting semi trucks, going through our neighborhood a lot and around our circle. And one night me and a neighbor walked up to the guy and said, what are you looking for here? What are you doing? He's like, well, my Google Maps sent me here. And it was, he was trying to get to like Split Rock and Valley Springs or something. And, yep, I don't know, it was a refrigeration company. His truck was like a refrigeration one.
We're wondering
So my
because that
suggestion-
stops the
so my suggestion would
stoplight at
be-
Madison now.
So my suggestion would be to stop these guys and say.
Well, they're going about 50 around my curve and.
Yeah.
so.
So public comment, I
I thought you said
appreciate
that
the
that's fine.
communication, but
Yeah.
public
Yeah.
comment is to tell the supervisors something, so appreciate, you guys dialoguing.
okay. We'll move on now.
Other public comment that we haven't covered.
We do.
I got one. I'm still Joe. I have some equipment and a skid loader. If the township would, I don't know if you wanna say like hire me or whatever, but I like go around to like all the approaches where gravel meets asphalt and try to clean it up a little bit. Whether I have like my own sweeper, I know the township has a sweeper too. But if you're looking for somebody, it'd take a day or so to kind of hit everything. I know a lot of gravel's getting strewn out onto the asphalt roads, so just a suggestion.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Go through a motion to pay bills. Here's the bills. The law firm, $1,654. Butler Machinery Repairs, $879. GGR is $2,000, and that was for supervising or watching the Hidden Valley Seal Coat. LG Everest for gravel, $241, and running supplies, $401 for a grand total of $5,177. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Hang on, I forgot I was supposed to, this is my job tonight. Who made the motion?
Mark,
Okay,
God's
Okay.
sake.
thanks.
All in favor, say aye. Okay,
Sorry.
we don't need to go to executive session now, do we? Guys?
No.
Okay, the next meeting will be the second.
Well, yep, sorry.
What do you want?
Just, I was waiting for my motion to adjourn. Go ahead. Next meeting, go ahead. Tuesday,
Second Tuesday of the month,
September 9th.
September 9th.
Now this one.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
We wish Pam well.
Pam would tell you that you all have a drop at the dump. Check your driver's
Oh,
license.
yes, she would
Yeah.
tell you that.
Freedom.
Is that all we gotta do?
Free dump. Show your driver's license. If you're too heavy, they're gonna charge you for the overweight.